guys. Welcome to Stats. I'm your professor, Mr. Beggs. Just wanted to go over a quick PowerPoint presentation with you. If you can't see the board pretty clearly, we do have this presentation in the Angel folder. It's under content. It's chapter 2, 2.1 through 2.2. We go over this. It's all about organizing and graphing data. Start here with the definition of raw data. Raw data is just that data you collected. You go out, you get it, you don't organize it, you don't do anything. It's just your raw data. It's the data that you have right after you collected it. Here's an example of raw data. Got our numbers, we collected it, 21, 19, 24. Notice it's in no order, it's just down on a piece of paper. All right, some other things about it. We got frequency distributions we're going to talk about, relative frequency and percentage. Then we're going to graph these things. So that's what we're going to do the rest of this chapter. Right here is a frequency distribution chart. Notice your variable right here, type of employment. Your category, well, one category of a type of employment would be federal government, state and local government, your own business, private companies or business. Over here we got the frequency column, the number of students, how often it happens. Right here is the frequency, 16. We add all those up and we get our sum of 100 students. All right, frequency distribution for qualitative data. List all categories and the number of elements that belong to each of the categories. Remember qualitative versus quantitative. Quantitative is in numbers. Qualitative is categories. We got to remember the difference between those two. All right, so if we're calculating our frequency and percentage distributions, relative frequency of a category is the frequency that something is in that category. If we go back to that one chart, the number of people that were in state government jobs, the number of people that are in federal government jobs, that'd be the frequency of that category divided by the total sum of the entire category. To turn that into a percentage, you take the frequency divided by the sum, you get that decimal and multiply it by 100, and that's going to give you your percentage. So here's an example. Stress on a job, people that are very stressed, 10 of them are very stressed. Somewhat stressed, you got 14, and then no stress at all, you got 6. Notice they sum up to 30. What we're going to do is we're going to find the relative frequency and the percent frequency of this chart. If you look at it, our relative frequency is 10 divided by 30, or 0.33. Well, when we have a decimal, it's kind of hard to work with, so what we want to do is we want to turn it into a percentage. You take the 0.33 times it by 100, and you get 33.3%. That means a little bit more to us. We're more familiar with percentages. Same thing with somewhat, same thing with none. All right, from here we can make bar graphs. Bar graphs are a great way of organizing data. They can break it down into a picture. Pictures are worth lots. We can see pictures, we can look at pictures, we can understand pictures. So here's an example of a bar graph. We got our categories down here. Notice we have a legend over here. It says 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. That just tells us what's on the graph. People that do homework. It looks like 8 out of every 10 people do homework in the 6th grade. Here it looks like 7. Then we got 5 for 8th grade. And you just read data. This actually represents something. It represents homework, test scores, quiz scores, attendance. You can compare the homework scores for 6th grade to the test scores of 6th grade, to the quiz scores, and then to the attendance. So pictures worth 1,000 words. You've heard that before. It's really true in statistics. All right, next thing we got a pie chart. We're going to take all this and we're going to turn it into a pie chart so we can see another picture of what we've been doing. So a pie chart is basically what it says. You look at a pie, you cut pieces out of a pie, that's a pie chart. So we got a relative frequency chart again. We notice here we have relative frequency 0.33. That's the same as we did before. It's the stress on the job one. We want to turn it into angle measures because when we make a pie chart, your whole pie has 360 degrees. We want to know how big each angle is. So we take 0.33, multiply it by 360 degrees to get our angle measure. That way when we draw our pie, we know how big each slice is. So we take 360. I apologize, that's the bell at my school. Take 360 times 0.3 to get 119.88 when you draw your pi, your first angle is 119 degrees, 119.88 degrees. Second one, you take 360 times 0.467, you get 168.12. That's how big your second pi. And then the third one, 360 times 0.2 to get 72 degrees. Notice these add up to 360. They should. It's 360 degrees. Each circle has 360 degrees. Each piece of pi, when you add them all together, should equal 360 degrees. All right, here's an example of it. 119 degrees for very, very stressful. We draw the line, take our compass, find 119.88. Here, draw your line, find 168.12. Here, find 72. Then you label it. You got 72 degrees here, you got 119.88, you got 168.12. Angle measures don't mean a lot to people, so it's always good to label your charts with none and then 20%, because 20% means more. They know 20% of the pie, no one's stressed on. They know somewhat stressed is 46.7%. So it's always good to label with your percentages also, not just your angle measures. All right, that's the end of this little presentation. I hope you guys learned something. Remember, you can go review this. The PowerPoint is online for you to see. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, call me. We'll work through this together. Hope you enjoyed this class, guys.